So this was a game that we kind of coined going into that the Aztecs need to find a way to win. We didn't know if it was a must win, but it was kind of like a must win.
Any home game this upcoming year.
Got to win.
Got to win.
Basically. But then you find out an hour before the game, oh, by the way, Darion Tramel's not playing. He's out due to illness.
Yeah.
So now you've got one true point guard on your roster with, experience, really. You have BJ Davis as a freshman. You have other options, but you had Lamont Butler, and you're so used to having both Lamont and Darion, and Darion's meant so much to this program over the last 2 years. You're playing this veteran Nevada team, and all of a sudden you look up in the second half, and I know you were watching, and I was there. They had a large lead, San Diego State. All of a sudden, it's gone.
Like that.
53-all, 8-9 minutes to play. And the Aztecs, to their credit, found a way. They outscored Nevada down the stretch 18-6. Again, without Darion Tramel, with all kinds of things going against them for a while in that game. But to San Diego State's credit, they've done this in close games this year. They just found a way to win, a game they had to have.
Well, once again, Jay Powell continues to show just how valuable he is becoming late in games. And Dutch, I think there was a conversation a couple days ago about are you thinking about potentially moving Jay Powell into a starter role,
right?
And putting Elijah Saunders on the bench. And I think he said something along the lines of, it's not about who starts, it's about who finishes. And it's exactly right. I think Jay Powell for this team is infinitely more valuable coming off the bench than as a starter, because he's right. Jay Powell's finishing games. He's making big time plays. The 3-pointer he had last night to extend the lead to 10 was massive,
huge.
Now I think the 3-pointer by Reese Waters was a bigger shot, but the Jay Powell 3 was kind of not the nail in the coffin of that game, but essentially it was kind of like the dagger 3, and he hit it. And then you saw what he did against San Jose State, the block to win that game. And he's Gonzaga. He finished the Gonzaga game. He is showing that he is a guy that is turning into, we were all worried about, hey, Aguka Rope. Who are they going to find to replace Aguka Rope?
Yeah. Jay
Powell's not Aguka Rope, but you need somebody that's going to do all the little things out there and be a kind of a glue guy and get big time block, get a big time rebound, hit a big time shot. And Jay Powell has shown that he can absolutely do that for this team.
Yeah, 2 putback dunks in the second half as well. Remember a year ago, they were blessed with health, right?
Yeah.
Very few injuries, same starting 5 every game other than one, I think. It was a non-D1 game. Of their 9 players in their rotation, those 9 players combined to miss a couple of games. That's just not the case this year. Now, the good news is it's just bumps and bruises this year. It's 1 game here. It's 1 game there. Jaden Ledee missed a game because of an elbow. Darion's had a shoulder. Reese has had a ankle, right? Miles Burtis had this or that
thing, yeah.
Yet they're 15-3.
Jaden had a shoulder thing.
And Dutch told me last night post-game, he's like, you've heard me say this before, John. He's like, we don't worry about who we don't have available. We just worry about who we do have. And last night we didn't have Darion available. We knew it would impact us. He's a great player. But we put ourselves in a position where we won the game. And Lamont Butler played 35 or so minutes, and they needed him to do that. But I'm telling you, Nevada, they made a really good offensive team look pedestrian. They got terrific offensive weapons. Jared Lucas, Keenan Blackshear are outstanding offensive weapons, and San Diego State did it with defense. That's in the DNA. And they're 15-3, and now they're going to Boise, and this is going to be Saturday morning. You can hear it on San Diego Sports 760, and we'll see if they can play better Saturday on the road in a hostile environment than they played last Saturday in New Mexico in a hostile environment.
The depth and the health of the team last year was you're not blessed that many times
right
to have
what are the odds
that much depth where Jaden Ledee is your 6th man off the bench, maybe 7th man off the bench, because
right. How many minutes did he have?
He was behind, I think, Adam Seiko and AG, because AG came off the bench as well.
Johnson.
Keyshawn,
think about the starters though. The starters played so many minutes. Keyshawn and Nathan played a lot of minutes, so there were only so many minutes available for forwards, and AG was getting a lot of minutes.
It was getting a lot of minutes, yeah. And you had Adam Seiko come off the bench. It was just that team last year. The depth on that team, it's
that was bonkers.
Yeah, you're not going to get many teams with that much depth in college.
You had an All-American on your bench because Jaden Ledee will be either a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd team All-American if this continues.
Right,
I promise you that. So you had an All-American who a year ago. Think about that. You had an All-American last year who played 18 minutes a game, which is a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
It's not crazy.
But now he's playing 34.
He's now playing 33 minutes per game. And Dutch said this throughout the NCAA tournament. Remember, we've talked about this a little bit on air, and I think we talked about it maybe with Darren at some point in the last week or two. Like, man, like, imagine if Jaden would have played 30 minutes a game last year. Well, hold on. They were in the national championship game. What better could have occurred?
Yeah.
They made it all the way to a national championship.
It's not like he didn't play last year. I mean, he hit the second biggest shot behind Lamont Butler in the Final Four game. The jumper.
He hit 2. He hit a jumper out of a timeout, and there was another. He got to the lane and went over their 7-foot Russian center. The 2 made field goals before Lamont shot were Jaden Ladiz.
Yeah, so it's not like he didn't play last year. He hit some of the biggest shots in school history.
Yeah,
if not for the Lamont Butler at the buzzer. So he was playing last year. He just wasn't playing at the level he is now.
Right.
But this team in particular, going forward, they're obviously completely different from last year, even though they have a bunch of same players. I think the scoring on this team, like they can score more than last year's team. I think they have more weapons than last year's team. I think Reese Waters, Jay Powell,
those additions, man,
they
fit in perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, are you surprised? Honestly, I'm not.
No, but it's amazing. I mean, I'm not surprised, other than the fact is the guys don't sit down anymore. You got to be ready to go like from day one.
And I was worried about just the stature of Jay Powell. And I'm like, okay, dude is lanky and long, but can he go down low and get you a big time rebound if need be? Like, is he going to be able to go up against a guy like Jaden Ledee? There's obviously not many Jaden Ledees. There's a one-of-one type of body, but you get my point. Like the big guys down low, how's Jay Powell going to, perform? And he's shown that because of his length and his size, that he can absolutely go down low and get a big rebound for you or a big time block. And the best part is, he can get you a big time 3 too.
Yeah, he's very stretchy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he really is a stretch 4 because he likes to live outside, but he also can get some of those loose balls and rebounds you were accustomed to seeing from Aguilar. But you're right. Metrically speaking, the offense is better than last year. And by the way, remember, everyone's like, oh my gosh, how do you replace defensively Nathan Mensah and Aguilar? Like 2 all-time defenders in the history of the program. Aztecs right now are 20th in the nation metrically on defense. 20th. That's really good. Last year, they were a top 5 caliber, but it's not like they've taken this huge step back defensively either. The question is going to be this. What are they going to do on the road to create separation to potentially win another regular season title? Because one of these teams at the top of the league is going to beat someone on the road. Obviously, that's just going to happen. So they're going to need a win or 2, whether it's in Boise or at Utah State or Colorado State, right? We know how this works, and they don't have to be perfect there, but they're going to need a win or 2, and Saturday presents an opportunity. The issue, a lot like New Mexico last weekend, New Mexico was coming off a road loss, and they needed the game. Boise State's now coming off a home loss, and they really need the game. So can San Diego State match Boise when they go to Boise on their home floor, nationally televised game on Saturday? You'd like to think they can. They've won a lot of these games over the years, and I'm expecting a really good game. I was surprised that New Mexico ended up winning the other day by 18. I expect a much closer game when San Diego State and Boise State meet on Saturday.
It'll be tough if Darion Trammell is not suited up for this team.
True.
Just because on the road, it hurts you. At home, you can kind of get away with it a little bit just because the home crowd and everything like that. But on the road, you need all hands on deck in a crazy environment. And weren't you saying?
What was I saying
during the Fusion or before that this is the first CBS game at Boise?
Yeah, ever. So they're amped.
Yeah, they're going to be crazy.
And I think that's accurate. Bob Beeler, who's the voice of the Broncos, I believe said that today, that they've now, of course, with football, they've had a lot of nationally televised games. With basketball, Boise State is an interesting story in that they've been good at basketball, but they've never won an NCAA tournament game, ever. And they've been in the tournament each of the last couple of years. And again, the Mountain West has really, what's the saying? I'm terrible with this. Something about rising tide lifts all boats.
There you go.
Boom. San Diego State's the classic example of that for the Mountain West.
Yeah.
San Diego State's utterly dominated this league. And with time, other programs have invested comparably to San Diego State, and other programs are trying to follow the mold of the Aztecs. And what's happened is it's not just a one-team league. You've got 4, 5, 6, 7 really good programs right now in the Mountain West, which I think ultimately is good for the Aztecs. And I think it's good for those that follow San Diego State basketball. But Yeah, this isn't some cakewalk. Hey, San Diego State's going to win this league by 4 games. That's just not how it is right now, and that's a credit more to the league than anything else.
I think you look at like Gonzaga in the past when they just dominated the
Completely
WCC,
dominated. Yep.
and then you get to the tournament and they crumble because the competition is better than what they face in WCC. Like they might go 30-1 in their conference, and then we got to go up against a really good team, and they lose. And then obviously they made the Final Four that one year, and they lost to, I believe, UCLA, right?
On a last-second shot during COVID, they've made 2 Final Fours and 1 championship game. I think I have that right.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just the history of Gonzaga.
Yep.
When they get to the tournament, if they have a really good season and their conference is down, it usually hurts them. This is the complete opposite for the Aztecs. Their conference is really good. They're going to be battle tested when it comes to tournament time. They're not going to be a team that's going to go up against somebody and say, "Oh, we haven't faced that before."
Right.